Good afternoon. Apologies for the delay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 9th, 2022 meeting of the Boston Art Commission. I'm Karen Goodfellow, and I'm the Director of Public Art in the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture. And in that capacity, I'm also Director of the Boston Art Commission. Let's all take a moment to update our names and pronouns and make sure we are muted. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, we are conducting this meeting virtually. To ensure public access to deliberations of the Boston Art Commission, the public can join this meeting through telephone and video conferencing. For those of you who are with us today, this meeting is being recorded and closed captioning is available. You can access it at the bottom of the screen. If you have trouble locating the button, please chat us for assistance. The Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture and the Boston Art Commission believe that public art is any artwork installed in publicly accessible spaces where they can be experienced by everyone for free. We engage in discussions about public art in Boston in order to foster the creation and collection of artworks that reflect the people, ideas, histories, and futures of Boston, which is on the traditional homeland of the Massachusetts people. We acknowledge the continuing presence of the Massachusetts, as well as the Wampanoag and Nipmuc peoples. We also recognize the Indigenous peoples represented in the city's residents, in addition to those in the diaspora. For transparency and community input, artworks proposed for City of Boston property are reviewed and discussed at these public meetings of the Boston Art Commission on a regular, usually monthly basis. Working together with the Public Art Team and the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture, the Boston Art Commission, the BAC is an independent board composed of 2 ex officio and 7 volunteer community members appointed by the mayor. The BAC has exclusive authority to approve and commission artworks intended to be added to the city's collection or placed on city property. Our meetings are generally held on the second Tuesday of every month, and we hope that you will continue to join us. The Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture's dedicated public art team manages all daily operations and duties related to public art projects cited on or proposed for city property. This team facilitates the BAC's monthly public meetings and manages all phases of our public art projects in collaboration with the Boston Art Commission, community members, colleagues at the City of Boston, and all of you for this month. Helping to facilitate this meeting are Sarah Rodrigo, Senior Project Manager, Public Art Project Manager, Amber Torres, Public Art Project Manager, and Liza Quinones, Mural Consultant. And Amber will add our contact information to the chat. And I'll pass to Chair Pasnick.
Thank you, Karen. Welcome, everyone. I'm calling this public hearing to order at 4:42 from a very, very wet and commissioners to confirm a quorum. After I state your name, commissioners, please say here. I will begin. Alvarez.
Here.
John Andres.
Here.
Michael Canizzo.
Here.
Cara Elliott Ortega.
Here.
Brian Hone.
Here.
And Kim Pinder. Kim may not be here. Okay, so but we still do have a quorum. Oh, sorry, was that Kim? No, okay. So we still do have a quorum. On the next slide, you'll see today's agenda. The full agenda is posted publicly on the city's website, boston.gov. We will now review meeting minutes from the June 28th meeting of the Boston Art Commission. Are there any comments or modifications any commissioner would like to make? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I move that we accept the June 28th minutes.
Thank you, John. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I think that was Camilo who seconded it. So with that, I will do the roll call. Please say yes if you agree with the motion. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So the motion passes. Thank you, everyone. I'll turn it back over to Karen.
Mark, we have 5 presentations for review today. We have the final design of Natural Beauty, a mural by Jill Rosati for Ringer Park in Allston. Final design of Who is Your Unsung Hero, a banner mural by Eva McMillan for a BPDA property on Warren Street in Roxbury. And final design of the 2022 paint boxes presented by Public Art Project Manager Amber Torres. We also have the final design for The Eyes of the Future, 2 short-term artworks by Yuke Li for the newly renovated City Hall Plaza, feature wall, and final acceptance of Rita Spotlight by Rixy, a mural celebrating the life and legacy of Rita Hester in Allston's Union Square, presented by mural consultant Liza Quinones. This month in community-initiated commissions, we've been working with some contracting questions on several projects that received capital funding the last year. We're happy to report that the renovation of the Justice Edward O. Bourdain Veterans Park in Roxbury has been progressing well. Recent photographs of the project are shown on the right, courtesy of Liza Meyer of the Parks Department. We understand that the park and associated artwork should be complete in late fall of this year. For long-term city-initiated public art projects, Masari's artwork is complete and fully functional at the new Boston Arts Academy. They'll be presenting for final acceptance in September. We're also planning for some events around the building's dedication and all the artwork, so please keep an eye out for an invitation. Market 27 has started installing Soledad at Washington Manor in the South End. The installation will last 3 weeks. There are 3 other upcoming installations: The Joy of Growing by Matea Fitz for the Peabody Apartments, which has been greenlighted to start. The Creative by Simon Donovan for BAA will be installed in late September, and Turmoil by Sobek should be installed in early October. And Ben Olmsted, is that the other artist for the Creative, Sarah?
Yes, it is.
And tonight we're reviewing Yuke Li's final design for City Hall Plaza, as well as designs for the citywide PaintBox program. The plaza itself should be opening later this month, and you can see recent images on the right. The top one shows the feature wall, which is one of the spaces that Yuke has created artwork for, and the Copley Square Public Art Call to Artists closed. The Copley Square Public Art Call to Artists closed on August 5th, and we received 65 submissions, and that includes really interesting artwork to be integrated into the new park design, including work by poets. And for collections projects, Daedalus completed restoration and repair work on the Copenhagen Fountain through the Friends of the Public Garden. They also completed work on the Domingo F. Sarmiento Memorial on Palm Ave, between Gloucester and Hereford. They will also be starting repair and restoration work on the John Boyle O'Reilly artwork in the Fenway by Daniel Chester French. And this restoration project was initiated and is being managed by the Fenway Civic Association and funded in part through Adopt a Statue funds. The Fenway Association is also hoping to do repairs to the surrounding plaza and continues to coordinate between agencies to lead this work. And lastly, we have been working with photographer Olivia Blaisdell to document our artwork to eventually go on our new website. And here are a few images of the work. So far, she's done work in Roxbury, Dorchester, and Fenway. And with that, I will pass it back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Karen. We'll now move on to items on the agenda for review, public testimony, and commission vote. Here's how you can participate in today's meeting. During the meeting, please keep yourself muted. If you have technical difficulties during the meeting, you can ask questions in the chat and a member of staff will help you. After presentations and commissioners clarifying questions, the chair may invite public testimony. If you would like to participate, you can press the raise your hand icon and staff will put you in a digital line for comment. You can also let staff know that you have a question in the chat. If you're calling in, press *9 to raise your hand. Please remember to keep your comments on topic and brief. Our goal is to make this meeting a good experience for all so that community members feel comfortable sharing their feedback and questions. Be mindful of and respectful of other people's time when speaking so that other participants feel comfortable adding their comments. You can submit longer written testimony to bac@boston.gov. While you may disagree with other attendees' testimony, you may not interrupt them during their allotted time. Please keep questions and comments project specific. If you're called on, please state your name, title, program, and organization if relevant. So our first presentation for review is Natural World by Jill Rosati for Ringer Park in Allston. Sarah will give us some context for the project. Sarah?
Thank you, Chair. This project is an artist-initiated mural for Ringer Park in Allston. The park is circled in red on the map on the left side of your screen, and it's that central green area that you can see on in the image on the upper right-hand side of your screen. Ringer Park is the largest park in Allston that's close to the business and shopping districts. It abuts the Jackson Mann and Horace Mann schools, Allston Brighton's only Boston Center for Youth and Families, and the West End Boys and Girls Club. The park is used by a wide variety of residents and has a number of programs, including a play area, sports courts and fields, performance space, an urban wild, and a large passive use area. At this time, Boston Parks and Recreation Department is in the process of a comprehensive plan for Ringer Park to address changing uses, improve pedestrian access, maintenance, and safety in the park, among other goals. We can include that link that's on the screen in the chat as well. After the artist, Jill Rosati, submitted a preliminary proposal in 2021, we consulted with the Parks Department about the site to see if they were open to the project. They confirmed that the proposed mural site, a wall adjacent to the sports courts, will likely not be affected by any future park renovations, and they gave permission for a mural at this site, provided the artist properly prepare the wall. Jill hadn't yet conducted any community engagement, so we also encouraged her to reach out to the abutters and community members in Allston, which she'll talk about more in a moment. In the past few months, we did receive critical feedback about the project and Jill's process from some constituents via email. You can find PDFs of those communications in your folders. And now I'd like to hand it over to Jill to present. Jill?
Thank you so much, Sarah, for everything you've done for this project so far. Thank you, everyone who came to support this project to this meeting today. And I only have 5 minutes, so excuse me if I go a little fast through some of the slides. But this is Arts District Boston's Ringer Park Mural Project, and we started it a year ago. Next slide, please. So this is what the wall looks like today, and it's actually much worse than when I initially started this project. As you can see, it's just in a terrible state, deteriorating. It's not a welcoming environment, and it doesn't make our shared green space look awesome. Next slide, please. So the mural site is the Ringer Park tennis and basketball courts. The park is abutted, as Sarah said, by a Boys and Girls Club, community center, and 2 elementary schools. The 3 design options were created by me. I'm a local Allston artist. And one of them, the preliminary one that Sarah talked about, was kind of just to submit a proposal, fill out the space. And then the next 2 designs were based on feedback from the community that we received about what the community wants on that wall. Next slide. So Sarah kind of went over this a little bit, but yeah, we submitted the design or the project in 2021 as it was an open proposal. And we went door to door in Allston with handouts to fundraise in March. We made 2 more designs based on feedback from the community in April. We teamed up with the Jackson Mann Community Center and held a voting event and community hearing to get input from our neighbors. And that event went awesome. Thank you so much, Rosie, for your help. We went door to door with hundreds of voting event flyers and my broken foot in Allston to gain support in June and July. We visited all of the local businesses around the park, all of the homes around the park over the course of multiple weeks. Every person I spoke with was verbally in favor of the mural and believed maintaining our local green spaces would be something positive for the community. At this time, Replayed Allston became a physical sponsor. Next slide, please. This is the flyer that everyone in Allston received. And these are 3 of the designs. We were also open to other design submissions and other suggestions of what to do, and we definitely took that into account. And next slide, please. So these are the descriptions of each design. So, you know, the first one is a celebration of the community with brightly colored people playing tennis and basketball on the tennis and basketball courts. The second one is the iconic autumn palette at Ringer Park. And it's more of a calming, blending in with the scenery. The colors are taken straight from the trees and surrounding foliage. And design 3 transforms the forest green wall into a jungle for Jackson Man's mascot, the tiger, to kind of, I don't know. Okay, next slide. This mural is a collaborative effort with Allston Village Main Streets. And they're going to give it a protective coat to protect it from vandalism. And we received many donations from community members and local businesses during our 60-day fundraiser. The project is notably sponsored by Allston businesses New Balance, Replayed Allston, and Forefront Ventures. Next slide, please. This is a copy of our letter of overwhelming support. And we even gained some volunteers from the Allston Civic Association. This says, this mural will be a welcomed addition to the community and will add value to all who use the park. Next slide, please. This is a support from the West End House we received written to support. Andrea Howard, our executive director, approves and supports this mural. We look forward to the finished project. Next slide, please. After day 5 of going around and getting support from the community, I actually started to write down direct quotes of what people were saying because I was just so overwhelmed with the positivity that I received. So here are some quotes from community members that I met in Ringer Park or around the Ringer Park on day 5 and 6 of flyering. What a great idea. I'm absolutely in support of it. It's about time. I would love to be a part of it. That is so cool. We go there all the time. I would love to see it cleaned up. So exciting. Oh, good. That wall looks horrible right now. And finally, next slide, please. Our voting event was such a success at the community center. We received 136 votes for one of our 3 designs. We received 1 vote for an alternative design, but no alternative design was submitted, and no other information was given about that. Next slide, please. So here is more pictures from our event. Next slide. And Allston Village Main Streets had a table, as well as the Boston Cyclists Union showed up at this event. Next slide, please. Okay, and here are more online support from local organizations we received. So Cambridge Art Association, Brookline Arts Center, Boston Center for the Arts, ARC Boston. Next slide. Rat's Nest Records, Zone 3 Western Ave, Original Markets, Allston Open Studios, Allston Pudding, Hotel Studio Allston. Next slide, please. Allston Open Studios actually made a post about us. Replayed Allston, Boston Compass wrote an article on us. I'll get to that later. The Piano Craft Gallery and Artist in Connect International. So our project has been featured as the cover article in the Boston Compass newspaper, and we received a write-up on Allston Brighton CDC's Twitter page, Councilwoman Liz Braden's biweekly newsletter, and on Universal Hub. Here's a picture of the Boston Compass article. As you can see, we're front and center on the first page of the newspaper. Next slide, please. Here are more copies of the press we've received in support of this project. Next slide. This will be a major renovation to our park. So the design itself was actually taken from a painting I did. It's an acrylic and oil painting. It's about 16 by 20 inches. I took the surrounding area because Ringer Park inspired this painting. I actually lived in the Blue House right next to Ringer Park, right by the entrance for many years. And I used to walk around that park all the time. I'd sit and read in the park. I draw in the park, and so it just seemed fitting to take this natural scape inspired by Ringer Park and submit it to be painted in the park itself. Next slide, please. Okay.
All right, thank you, Jill. I just want to note that I think that Alex from Allston Village Main Streets is here as well, who's one of the fiscal supporters of the project.
Would Alex like to say something?
Alex, we can't hear you. Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know if that actually would have happened, but like they said that it could
Oh.
happen.
Alex, now we hear your sound.
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
We hear you.
Just in the airport, but
Okay.
Keandre Woody is
Sorry
also
about that. Yeah, sorry. I'm at Logan right now. I'm actually on waiting for a flight to Europe right now, but I wanted to jump in and voice our support. We've known about this mural project since last fall. We've been the first fiscal sponsor. We've gotten Jill connected to a few other sponsors, New Balance and Keandre and a few other people. Jill's gone above and beyond the community review process. We first met with Tony Disadoro, and he got it approved by the Civic Association a couple of months ago, and we did a lot of flyering, and we did a lot of the event that Jill was talking about. And we're actually also planning on working with Boston University first-year students to do priming and prepping for the mural. So we're going to get some freshman students involved in the painting process. So yes, we're all very excited about this mural. It's a no-brainer. It's going to be a great mural and a great time. Thanks.
Okay, great, thanks. Are there any other project partners before we open it up to commissioners? Keandre, did you want to say something? You're muted, I think.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, everybody. My name is Keandre Woody. I'm the general manager at Forefront Ventures. That's our parent company. We're actually an adult use cannabis dispensary under the name Mission. We're right on Commonwealth Ave, right by T. Anthony's. We're actually coming up on our 1-year anniversary on August 21st. But I want to stick to the topic at hand. We were just really excited to learn about this opportunity through Alex. We're also doing some things with Allston Village Main Streets, and he let us know that Jill was actually the head of Boston Arts District Boston, and that she's looking for more support for what she's doing locally. Cannabis art, I feel they definitely go hand in hand. Some people use that for motivation to create their art or just relaxation. And for me, I'm 29, I'll be 30 next month. No matter what you look like, orientation, things of that nature, I feel like cannabis and art is something where everybody can come together and just really have positive ideas and conversations about before we all go back out into this crazy world we live in. But we love art, the art sector. We've actually did some business with Jeremy Sobek with that abandoned post office, actually, which was awesome. We put out a table, handed out t-shirts, things of that nature, just to show that support. So we're really happy about that. So,
Okay, well,
one thing sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, any last comments before we do have to keep moving along?
Last comments for me is just, yeah, this is great, a great opportunity, and I can't wait to see the finished product.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to open it up to commissioners, and then we'll have public comments after that. So do commissioners have any questions for the artist?
Hi, Jill. Thanks so much for your presentation. The mural is fascinating. I'm curious how you selected your color palette.
Hi, thanks. Great question. So the color palette is based on the autumn foliage at Ringer Park. There you'll see a lot of yellows, oranges, and some yellow greens, as well as some deeper greens as well.
John, any other follow-ups you wanted to ask?
Not at this point.
Okay. Other commissioners who might have questions? Hearing none. Are there members of the community who would like to make a very short statement? Alex?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yeah, my name is Alex James. I'm an Allston resident. I'm also a community organizer with the Boston Cyclists Union based in Allston, Brighton. We were really excited to collaborate with Arts District Boston on an event that had voting for the mural a couple weeks ago. When Jill connected with me, I reached out to my list of volunteers in the neighborhood and say, hey, anyone want to get involved with this? And I got a ton of people who were really excited to get involved, and they showed up and had a blast. Allston actually has the highest percentage of any neighborhood in Boston of people who bike for their commute, who rely on that, and people who bike love public art because we are out in the space all the time. And if Ringer Park had this mural, it would be such a great, fantastic addition to the neighborhood and to the park, and would make it so much better for all the people in the neighborhood who bike. So really excited to be here speaking in support of the mural.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from members of the public?
Yes, can I speak?
Yes, Eva?
Hi. Yes, my name is Eva Webster. I have lived in the neighborhood for almost 30 years. And while I definitely, I support beautification, and I'm not opposed to the mural per se, I have some concerns. One is that looking at this retaining wall right now, you can see that there is a lot of moisture damage. There was green paint there, and it was pushed out by moisture that comes from the ground behind the wall. So I'm pretty certain that whatever is painted directly on the wall will just look as terrible as this green paint is looking now. And if we are to have a mural there, I think that it should be painted maybe on panels. I just recently returned from a trip to a nice town in New Jersey where I used to live when I was much younger. And they had really great murals that were painted on large panels of some kind of, weather resistant plywood. And they're kind of just like an inch away from the wall. They were attached to the wall, but it allows air movement behind it, so they don't soak any moisture, and therefore probably will last for a very long time. This.
So Eva, I wonder if we could give the artist a chance to respond to this concern, because she may already have a plan for it. Let's
okay,
see what Jill
later
has.
I'd like to comment about the colors, but okay.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to jump in, Mark. This is Sarah. I just wanted to note that we did talk about this with the Parks Department. This is their wall, and they did approve this for direct painting.
I know, but maybe they didn't realize that your mural.
They went and examined the wall, and they looked at the design, and they are very comfortable with it being directly painted on the wall.
It's not about any danger to the wall. I don't think that they realize that your paint is not going to last on a wall that has ground behind it and therefore soaks moisture. I mean, I have a retaining wall on my own property. That's why I'm thinking about it, because I know that the retaining wall drains moisture from the ground behind it. I'm just giving you a useful tip to prevent your mural from looking like hell in another 2 or 3 years.
Eva, there are new technologies for paint that are stronger at resisting what you're describing. So I think what we can do is take your comment and ensure that the staff works with the artist to ensure that it doesn't look terrible in a year or two.
All right.
So thank you for that. And you said you had another comment about.
I just want to say thank you, Eva, for your concern about the mural lasting a long time. I really appreciate that. There are certain primer paints with fungicides in them, and you can do multiple coats. Also, the primary paint I'll be using is spray paint, which actually creates a layer in front of the wall. So it's kind of like it builds its own. I know you were talking about painting it on something in front of the wall, it kind of does that itself, as well as the sealant that Alex is providing. This thing will probably come off the wall all in one chunk if it does come off the wall.
All right,
But it
look,
won't.
if you're
And
willing
Eva,
to, if you're willing to take the risk with it, it's not something that I'm willing to go to battle to. I'm just warning you, and the time will
Thank
show.
you.
But
Thank
hold
you.
on, hold on. Can we talk
You
about
have
the
another.
color?
You have another comment. Yeah, you just have a minute left. So if you would
All
mind.
right, all right. Just I voted on this particular version of the mural because I thought it was most attractive. But I have to say that a lot of people, including me, are really turned off by the intensity of the colors. We don't think that it plays well with the natural area. It overwhelms it. I think that this mural would look beautiful if it had toned down earth colors that wouldn't just jump at you, that wouldn't be so aggressive. And I would return, I would, you know, it's up to the artist, but nobody is particularly fond of those human figures. They look like from a children's book, and those arms look like earthworms. So there is a way to make this mural better, but I don't know if the artist's you know, the sense of self will allow for adjustments, because, you know, we all know that artists usually have egos and they just want everyone to accept.
Eva, I'd like to interrupt you. I think you're out of time, but we'll take that comment, and the artist has heard that comment. So thank you for sharing your concerns about the color and about the human figures.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And I would just like to say, in defense of Jill, clearly there's not a lot of ego going on here. You've been incredibly involved with the public and engaging the public for quite some time. And I don't think I've seen a project that's had quite so many supports from the community. So I want to thank you for your work in engaging the community itself. And I do hope that you'll listen to the comments that were made and determine if, you know, that you want to consider them. So thank you. Any other comments from members of the community? Hearing none, I will see if there's a motion from the commission. Would any commissioner like to make a motion?
I think we do have one comment, Mark. Josie00, maybe?
Oh, I'm not seeing that. Okay. Josie, are you interested? Hello, yes, Josie?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm from Allston, Mass. And I was a volunteer on this project, and I am in very strong support of this mural, and that is all.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Any last comments? I'm not seeing any hands raised. So with that, I will open it up to commissioners to make a motion.
I can make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve final design of Natural Beauty by artist Jill Rosati for Ringer Park in Allston.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Cara. So I will read the roll call. If you agree with the motion, please say yes. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So the motion passes. Thank you very much for Jill for presenting. And I hope you'll continue your work with the community, even with some of the points that were brought up as you move along.
Thank you so much.
Okay, our next presentation for review is Who is Your Unsung Hero? For 630 Warren Street in Roxbury. Again, Sarah will share some site information and introduce the artist.
Thank you, Chair. This proposal is for a short-term project, a banner mural mounted to a fence at 630 Warren Street, which you can see on the right side of your screen, the fence, the location on the left. The artist, Mima McMillan, is one of Now and There's Accelerator artists, and this project is a result of that program. And it's my pleasure to introduce her, and then she'll present her design. Mima McMillan was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and is based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She has an MFA from 2013 and a post-baccalaureate certificate from 2011 from the School of the Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts, Boston. McMillan's paintings are influenced by her Southern childhood through brightly colored, fragmented, quilted landscapes, combined with characters from racist propaganda and Black dolls found in Southern flea markets. After graduate school, McMillan worked for the well-known street artist Swoon for 5 years as her business manager and helped start her nonprofit organization, Heliotrope Foundation. McMillan has also performed with her mentor, Magdalena Campos Pons, at the Guggenheim Museum in New York, Queens Museum in New York, and Havana, Cuba Biennale 15. Karmimadeebora is currently the director of the Postbac program and part-time lecturer at SMFA at Tufts, Boston. Mima, welcome.
Thank you, Sarah, and great job on pronouncing my name. We didn't go over that. Nice job. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'm really excited about this project. As Sarah mentioned, I am with Now and There, their last cohort. And for my project, I ended up working with the Freedom House. The point of my project was to do something that was uplifting in the community. And through that, I decided to try and listen to the community as much as possible. So with that, I started a little program that I called Who is Your Unsung Hero? And what we did was we created a card with a QR code, and we left the card around places in the community of Dorchester and Roxbury, and just asked the community to submit who they thought their unsung hero was. And it could be a person, place, community center, anything or anyone that they felt that was doing the work in the community but haven't really received the accolades. Through this project, the Freedom House came up over and over again. And funnily enough, the space that the BPDA had given me as a choice was right across the street from the Freedom House. So I asked if I could come and talk to them, and I was really moved by the work that they were doing. I spoke with their current CEO, Charmaine Arthur, for about 2 hours, and was just really moved by the dedication that the Freedom House works with their students, how they continue to work with their students from high school all the way through college. Charmaine has been with the Freedom House for 13 years and going, and Katrina Shaw was the former CEO of Freedom House, and Charmaine had asked if there was some type of way that we could celebrate Katrina because of all the work that she had done. Apparently, because of the pandemic, they, just like a ton of other businesses around, were struggling. And Katrina managed to keep the doors open and keep the students motivated, and everyone kept their job. And so Charmaine kindly asked if I would highlight her, and I wanted to highlight Charmaine because she was just so wonderful. And so this is what I came up with. I just wanted something that was really bright and fun, but also empowering, and also a way for the community to remember that this place has been in their community for over 70 years, and they're still going strong. Sorry, it's not as clear. We are
That's my fault. I zoomed in a little bit and cropped it to make
It's
the
okay.
sections. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's, it's as an artist, I've looked at this 1,000,000 times. And, part of that is going over it and making sure that the printing will be just as good as the actual image. And I'm happy to say that it actually looks really great, printed from the test strip that we've done. All right. I don't think I have anything else. If anybody has any questions.
I think, Mima, I have one more slide, the one you had shared about the
Okay.
site.
Okay.
And this is the signage on the right, which I think shows the higher resolution.
Yes. I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that was there. I know that you were saying logos might be an issue. One of the things that I do want to mention is that there is a QR code on the bottom there, and that is to link people back to the website. And eventually, what I plan to do with a collaborator is add an AR component. And what we plan to do is do a workshop with Freedom House. So the students will do the AR component, and then people can go by, click on it with their phones, and then it will send you to the website, which will send you to the AR component that we haven't built yet. So that's what the QR code is for. Okay, and I think you said one more slide. Oh, yes. The piece will be on vinyl. We will be using Boston Banner Printing Company. They've already done a site visit. Originally, I was planning to go around the corner. They thought it was a better idea to just stay right on Warren Street. They'll be using metal zip ties. The grommets will be about 20 inches apart. They will shore up the fence, which the BPDA has approved. And they said it should look great and should have no problem with it being put up.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that presentation, Mima. So let's open it up to any questions from commissioners now. Or comments if you have them.
Just real quick, maybe Sarah, if you could go back to that last image with the logos and the descriptions right here. So Mima, thank you for your presentation. I love the kind of organic nature of the shapes. And just wondering if there's a way to kind of incorporate that same sense of looseness into these text panels. So like if any of these like leave elements could like overlap one of the text panels or whatnot, to kind of incorporate those maybe a little bit, just as an idea that came up. They just,
It
text panels
actually
look very
is. You mean
stark.
like having the flowers over the text boxes?
Yeah.
We did that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I can't even tell you which tweaked. It's been tweaked so much, but we recognize that there are flowers that flow over the top. It doesn't just look like the boxes are just floating there. I just pulled this off of. I realized that I sent her the final mock-up, but as I said, my designer is making final changes to make sure that the color is built up so it's printed correctly. So I do apologize for not giving the final piece, but I do hear what you're saying and it has been done.
Cool, that's exciting. Yeah, just thank you. I love the kind of overall mural and the imagery. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks for that. I agree. It shouldn't be two separate things floating on top. They should be either integrated or completely separate from the site. Any other comments from commissioners? Are there any members of the public who would like to make a comment? I'm not seeing one. Brian, do you see any that I'm missing? You seem to have a better sense of these.
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, if there are no comments, let's see if Commissioner would like to make a motion. Well, I could make a motion. I move that we accept the piece "Who is Your Unsung Hero" in Roxbury and approve it for final design.
I second that.
Okay, thank you, Camilo. So all those in favor, please say yes when I call your name. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So the motion passes. Mima, congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We're excited to see it. Next up, we have the presentation for the review of the PaintBox program. Amber Torres, who is managing the program, will present. Amber?
Excuse me while I shift gears a bit and adjust my screen. I was just taking minutes for the meeting. But good evening, everyone, even though the sun is still shining bright and fiercely. I'm going to be presenting PaintBox designs for final design. Every year, Boston-based artists are selected to paint utility boxes located in neighborhoods across the city. The goal of the PaintBox program is to beautify neighborhoods and introduce residents to the artists that live among them. And as the city has invested more and more in public art, PaintBox has also become a great opportunity for emerging artists. Next slide. Sorry. Can you go back to that slide? I want to mention a couple things there that are listed. The requirements for the program, just before I forget, are that the applicants must be at least 18 years of age and they must live, work, or organize in Boston. This year for PaintBox 2022, we have awarded 89 artists. And that number up there is actually not accurate. We are going to be showing designs from 16 neighborhoods across the city. We put out the call to artists in May. Artists were notified in June, and they have all summer to complete their paint boxes. The deadline to complete is October 1st. Now you can go on to the next slide and we'll look through some of these designs. Thanks, Sarah. First up at the top, you see Amelia Masal's art piece that's coming to Allston. It's going to be located on Cambridge Street and Eleanor Street. You have a design by Michael Talbot that's coming to Brighton at Brock Street, Lake Street, and Washington Street. Deanna Nagel is creating a piece at the corner of Bunker Hill Street near White Pool in Charlestown. And Yuko Okabe is creating a piece at 711 Washington Street in Chinatown. Next slide, please. Excuse me. Yamilet Salazar Souza will be creating a piece at Milk Street and Surface Road downtown next to the Seaport area. Michelle Musoki will be creating a piece in Dorchester at the corner of Stoughton Street and Sumner. And again, we are working with 89 artists this year, and I haven't met everyone, so excuse me if I mispronounce your names. In East Boston, Anna Bernal is creating a piece at 83 Bennington Street. And in the Fenway, Christy Charlotte is creating a piece at Forsyth Way, Huntington, and Parker Street. And before we go to the next slide, I just want to note that artists are able to use our template when they're proposing their designs, but they can also submit their designs in whatever format feels comfortable to them. The public art team reviews these applications, and we're looking at skill level. We ask the artists to provide examples of past work. And we also tell them to talk about their relationships to the neighborhoods that they're proposing and asking to paint their boxes in. And so you'll notice that some of the formats are a little different. And these paintings will be done primarily in acrylic paint. And so some of them are proposed graphically, but it's going to be so amazing to see how these are transformed into living and breathing, not living and breathing, but real utility boxes in our city. And now we can go to the next slide. Jillian King is going to be creating a box in Mattapan at the corner of Fessenden Street, Mildred Ave, and Norfolk Street. Again, I haven't been to every neighborhood in Boston, so I might mispronounce street names. Sorry to anyone who lives on these streets. All respect. Takara Jacques is creating a box at Blakemore Street and Hyde Park Ave in Rosendale. Hulda Zhang is creating a box in Mission Hill at Brigham Circle, and Lisa Dominicucci is creating a piece in West Roxbury at Bellevue Street, Bird Place, and Center Street. And these are just I pulled one artist from each neighborhood. There are several boxes going up in every neighborhood. Commissioners have access to designs in their folders, but a full map and a list of locations will be coming to our website when the boxes are completed in October. I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget any. I think I listed all of the artists there. And next slide. Are we already on there? Sorry, so I manage both screens. And in Jamaica Plain, Sophia Day is creating a piece on 755 Center Street. In Hyde Park, Jen Fenora is creating a piece at Glenwood Ave and Hyde Park Ave. Guadalupe Campos was actually present at Open Streets, Blue Hill Open Streets, creating a piece at Blue Hill Ave and Moreland Street, which was really exciting. She and Reese Easter, who is an artist and a student at Mass Art, also participated, which was super cool to see how different departments can come together and celebrate the arts. And make sure I'm not forgetting anyone. Luke Borowski is creating a piece in South Boston at Dorchester Street and West 6th Street. That's just a preview of some of the designs coming to the city this year. Commissioners, let me know if you have any questions. And I also want to invite the public for comment. But I might be doing your job, Mark, so take it away.
Yeah, that's my job, Amber. But thank you so much. And maybe I'll start off with a question, which is maybe you can remind us a little bit. It's really wonderful to see students and younger artists and emerging artists get this chance to have a canvas in the city. To what extent will people be able to figure out who those artists are in terms of their own growth and access to, is this a gallery where somebody can pick I really love the one in East Boston. Maybe I want to hire that artist to get a painting. How will that work with the mapping? Will the artists be listed on the maps?
I want to take a stab at answering this, but then Karen, if you want to jump in, feel free. I joined the team in April, and I know ever since then we've been talking about our mapping system. And so obviously PaintBox is in progress right now, but there's so much that's possible with the mapping and with our website and how we make sure that the public can access and learn about the public art that exists in the city, but also the artists, and give them opportunities. And so we're doing a lot of that planning right now behind the scenes. So I'm taking that feedback, taking that comment, and I want you to know that it is something that I think is possible and will happen. Myself and the communications director is going to be meeting up at the end of the month to talk about some designs and about that strategy.
And I should probably know this, but does the artist name go on the box itself, or do they sign it?
We asked them to write their names. I'm not sure if every artist does write their name. It's hard to get to every single box in the city, but it is a requirement, and so we can expect that.
Okay, great. That's good. Any other commissioners maybe have questions for Amber?
Not a question, but just a comment to say congrats. Doing 89 of anything from the administrative side is a lot of work. So just recognizing that and thanking you for these exciting projects.
That's a very good point. Ryan, thank you for bringing that up. So many great works, and that's a lot of work on the part of the city staff too. Other comments or questions from commissioners before we open it to the public? Hearing none, are there any comments from members of the public? I'm not seeing any hands raised, so I think we can move to a motion. I'm going to encourage Brian, maybe, since you are astounded by the numbers here, to consider making our motion.
Sure. Yep. I can make a motion to approve final design for the PaintBox program. for various locations throughout the city.
Great. And we'll just amend that PaintBox program. And with that, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So I'll read off the list and please say yes if you agree with the motion. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
With a big thanks to Amber and team, yes.
Great. And Brian?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So the motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Amber, for an exciting presentation and some beautiful works coming our way.
Thank you, and stay tuned for more, everyone.
Great. All right, our fourth presentation tonight is the final design for the Eyes of the Future, a short-term project for the new City Hall Plaza by Yuke Li. Sarah and Yuke will present.
Thank you again. So as part of the renovation of City Hall Plaza, which was designed by Sasaki Associates and engaged other wonderful local firms, the Office of Arts and Culture released a call to artists for 2 projects at City Hall Plaza. For the graphics project, we sought an artist to create digital designs that would then be fabricated and installed by a contractor working with the Public Facilities Department. And I'm not sure, I think our Brian Melia was going to try and make it tonight. He's the project manager, but I don't see him here, so keep an eye out. The graphics commission includes 2 walls on the updated plaza. The feature wall on the west side facing Cambridge Street, and you saw a photograph of that in the director's report, and what has been referred to as the quote wall, which is shown in the images on the screen right now to the right. In April, this commission approved the artist Yuke Li for the graphics project, and she's here tonight to present her designs. Yuke Li is a New York-based visual artist and a storyteller who was trained by the MFA illustration program at the School of Visual Arts in New York City. She's been working in the creative field for more than 10 years, and she works both digitally and traditionally. Yuke has worked on public art projects in New York City, San Francisco, Scottsdale, and Missoula. Her goal is to inspire people with another possibility, to comfort sadness, to plant a hopeful seed in the mind. Yuke believes magic happens and art is the way. Yuke, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Sarah, for introducing the place and me. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to present my ideas to all of you. And I really like the theme, the past, the present, and the future of the plaza. And the location is really great that attract all the peoples and gathered all the attractions. And there's a lot of place around medical center, TD Garden, and harbor, and all the buildings, activities, and all the possibility. I think it's, I don't know who come up with the theme, but it's really nice goes well with the location. Would you please go to the next slide? So, so I was inspired by the elements like cities, cosmos, and universe, astronauts, and as I asked Sarah to send me some pictures before I started design, so I can better do on the color. So the wall is kind of solid and dark red, so I choose the color with start with black and solid red, and then come up with some other colors. So it will goes well with the environment. The concept is, the main concept is about, because I think the location is very important, and let me see. So I think the exploration is very much related to the future. So it could be, so I did something of set foot on Mars and people doing things in life. And it seems like kind of like seeing people from the historical angle and also seeing our lives from the future kind of perspective. And I have to mention the wall, the canvas, the layout of the canvas is kind of like a grid and kind of like several different square on the wall. So it is a little bit hard at first to think of a united one pictures. So I thought about the contradiction space to put it into the whole design to kind of introduce different people and space, kind of like a parallel wars happening all at the same time. Can we go to the first concept? So this one is about universe and lives. So, we live in the planet and also we live in our unique individual space and like grid, like the layout of the structure. And what we are doing right now is kind of creating the same future for the world. So the idea is kind of pull out the big pictures to see the future as far away and beyond the horizontal line. So you see people at the right corner of the images. It's kind of related to the next panel. This panel is biggest a panel on the wall. So this one is the one close to the big panel, and kind of I want these two panels kind of related. So I put these figures kind of across two panel. And the concept two is about knowledge and steps. I use some elements like books, steps, and represents their creativity and courages, and as the starting point of our future and exploration. And so this, would you please go to the next panel? So this one is about inherit and innovation, enlightenment and adventure. At first, this design was, I did a spaceman, a big spaceman on top of a kind of stadium place and some tribe people around. But it feels like if I only do the tribe people, it would be very narrow. I will be narrow it down to a very specific kind of people. So with the feedback of from Sarah, and I changed it to like just normal people and everyone, kids, boy, girls, and old people, young people like this. So it's kind of covered. Everybody is kind of like represent present and the relationship, present and future things. So the idea is about the wisdom from the past empowered us, and the projection of the future direct us. And with the wisdom and the projection, we can go anywhere we want to. So the image is kind of like the spaceman presenting things to us. Next slide, please. The concept for this panel is about us in the city and the magic. So we are we are kind of like the witness of the city and the participant of all the events, and we come to the city hall for all the activities, and we're also kind of the craft people of our own culture. So this is focusing on the city scene and the craft people and people on the street. It's like the really kind of relationship between us and the city. Let's go to the final images of this design. This concept is about time and actions. I use the image of the phase of the moon kind of represent time, and the movement of the images, the dynamic movement of images kind of are implied of the actions, and the theme of catching the moon, chasing the light, and taking pictures is kind of related to actions. So I feels like the future and the present, the gap between the future and the present is kind of is us taking the action. So this is how the idea comes up. And so we can go to our design for the next wall. So as you see, the previous wall is about 5 different concepts in under one big concept. It's like telling 5 stories. So this one, I just wanted kind of like united all the space or united all the concept. And this one, I was inspired by the connections and the Brit Wheeler process. It sounds very complicated. I just watched some theoretical physical YouTube video, and I feel like it goes well with this layout and the concept. So I have to mention a little bit about the process. In a word, is a simply mechanism by which pure light can be potentially transformed into matter. It sounds very complicated, but to me, it's only a story, like a very knowledgeable story. So it's like a metaphor that everybody have their own power and shine in their own way. And I saw there's a experimental demonstrate in the video. It's kind of similar to the layout somehow. So I was very much inspired. It looks like, can we go to the next slide? So the layout is weird at first because it's like scattered square, but somehow this square is symmetrical. So it feels like something is gathering to the center. So the demonstration is from the video is kind of like some gathering things, some chemical, physical reaction happening in the middle. It's like and others powerful thing is scattered. It kind of goes well with the connection I want. It's like all the 6 panels around is like different like parallel wall or windows, you can say, and people's doing their daily life things, and they gather through something in the middle, and some chemical or physical things happened. Well, this design is it's not well finished. I still need to add some details to this one, but it's almost there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much too. It's really great. It has a sense of a graphic novel and its storytelling and its powerful portrayal of different ideas. So thank you for sharing that with us. I'll open it up to commissioners, comments or questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really love the themes and the representation, and I think it's a really exciting fit for the first time that we're going to be able to have these spaces for artwork on the plaza. So no other comments other than just positive. I just think that they're really exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kara. Other comments or questions from commissioners?
I
do
agree.
have
I
one.
think it's super vibrant, and it does read like a comic book, which makes me think a lot of people are going to be dancing around the building just to kind of really get the full picture. It's going to be amazing.
Great, thanks, Camila.
Thank you.
Could somebody, maybe Sarah, I don't know where's the second wall?
I was curious about that too, Mark.
Yeah.
So
where
I'll
the
go
first
back
one
to
is.
the title slide. It's a little bit hard to see, and I apologize for not having better images of it. And UK did a lot of great work on somewhat short notice. So if you see, this is Congress Street, if you can see my little
Okay.
hand. So we're
It's along
actually,
the pavilion.
yeah, we're actually outside looking from the newly renovated north entrance towards what's going to be the Civic Pavilion building, which is what you're seeing in blue. So it's right adjacent to there's a play area for people who may not be familiar. There's a play area right over here. And then this is a new sort of public building. So it's right on this wall, which is like a 1.5 story wall or so on that side.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure.
Was that your question, Mark?
Yes, it was. Yep. Go ahead,
UK.
John. You had one?
Yeah, on the second wall, I love how you've connected the panels through motion, that each one is sort of interconnected with the other. You said that this is semi-finished. If you could just clarify for us what other details or changes you had planned to add or alter, that would be helpful.
You may not see it clearly in this presentation. As you see, I didn't put a detailed image for this one because there's more details in the design from the previous wall. This one probably not much. I just need to. The main thing is done, like the color and the structure, the layout, but just tiny details, just for people that get close to the wall, they can see more information.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from commissioners or comments? Hearing none, I wonder if there's any comments or questions from the community, from the public? I'm not seeing any raised hands, in which case I wonder if we can move to a motion.
I can make a motion.
Okay, John, go
I
ahead.
move to approve the final design of the Eyes of the Future by Yuke Li for the City Hall Plaza.
Great, thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Camilo. So I will read off the roll call and please say yes if you agree with the motion. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
An enthusiastic yes.
Great. Kara?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I will echo Michael's enthusiastic yes. This is something wonderful to bring to a space that needs more life. So thank you very much, Yuke.
Thank you so much.
Okay, congratulations. We'll move on to, I think, our final presentation for the evening is the final acceptance of Rita's Spotlight by Rixy, located in Union Square in Allston. Liza Quinones will introduce the project. Liza?
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all again. Happy summer. I hope everyone's having a great one. Let's see. Here we go. So We are excited to put forward the completed mural, Rita Spotlight by Rixy, for acceptance into the City of Boston's art collection. Rita Spotlight is part of the Transformative Public Art Program, and the mural celebrating the life and legacy of Rita Hester, one of several murals that was commissioned last fall. As a reminder, this mural project originated as a proposal by former Boston artist in residence, Golden. In 2020, Golden proposed a mural to honor the life and legacy of Rita Hester, a Black trans woman and beloved Allston community member who lost her life as a result of transphobia and anti-trans violence. The Transgender Day of Remembrance was started by trans activist Gwendolyn Ann Smith as a vigil dedicated to Rita Hester and other trans individuals who died from anti-trans violence. It is observed annually across the world on November 20th, and this mural hopes to honor her life and legacy in the city of Boston and beyond. Next slide, please. In addition to the installation, we incorporated an artist talk at the mural site. The artist talk took place on June 29th, right in front of where Rixy was working on the mural. The event was well attended by the community. And in addition to learning more about the project and Rixy as an artist and her process, we had the pleasure of hearing from Rita Hester's family, who read a poem that the mural was inspired by, as well as information about the launch of the Rita Hester Scholarship by the Massachusetts Transgender Emergency Fund. And here's the completed mural. The mural is located at 506 Cambridge Street in Allston. It was painted using several coats of Kiehl's all-purpose exterior white primer, sealer, and stain blocker, and a combination of exterior acrylic and spray paint. The artist, I believe, is here with us tonight. And I would like to see if Rixy would like to say anything before I continue with the description of the artwork.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you, teams, for all the support in making this. I don't have too much to share. I'm very much a visual person, and being able to have the finished mural is as much as I can say, but I do appreciate all the support in helping it get here and really being able to push these stories forward. I think is like the most rewarding part of this. So thank you for everybody that has made this happen.
Thank you so much, Rixy. It truly could not have happened without you. So as for the artist description, Rita Spotlight visualizes Rita Hester, illuminated in her beauty, character, and word by the love shared with her communities. This mural is designed to commemorate the impact of her presence and story, adorned by glamorous symbols of identity and activism. With the exchange of her loved ones, Rita Spotlight places a beacon between her neighborhoods and frequent hangouts, bringing her light across others. Painting the mural took just a few weeks, using acrylic paint and spray painting textures on a smooth cemented 35-foot wall. It was shaded, spacious, and visible from several reaches of the intersection. And thank you to the family connected circles and groups for the support in honoring Rita's legacy through the mural production. Next slide, please. These images are just some close-ups of the work. The photos are taken by Lee Hopkins. And I will pass it over to you, Commissioner.
Okay, thanks, Liza, and thanks, Rixy, for wonderful work. I just want to say how touching it was when we heard the family speak just a couple of meetings ago, and how nice it is, and actually a little bit surprising to me how the mural's alive and already there. It's so great to see that moment. And for us, this is an important moment when we bring a new voice of an artist and a new story of somebody from our community into our collection. So I'm excited. I hope to approve acceptance of this into our collection tonight. With that, I wanted to see if any commissioners have any comments or questions for the artist or for Liza. Hearing none, are there, oh, John, do you want to?
Excuse me, I just had one quick question. I believe in our last meeting, we had maybe discussed some sort of informational panel to provide information about Rita Hester for the public who may see the mural, and I'm curious if that is still a possibility.
I would defer to Karen for that.
Yeah, we haven't drafted the language, but I would say yes, we are very interested in still seeing that through.
Perfect, that's great, thank you.
Great, I would reinforce that. I think it's helpful to have the story be told fully, or as fully as possible. Other comments from commissioners? How about members of the public? So I always think it's an honor to accept the new work into our collection. John, would you like to make the motion?
Sure. I move that we accept Rita's Spotlight by Rixy, a mural in Union Square, Allston, into the City of Boston Art Collection.
Great.
Public Art
Thank you.
Collection.
Thank you, John. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. So I'll read off the list. Please say yes if you're in as excited agreement as I am. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Absolutely, yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
And Brian?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So congratulations, Rixy. The artwork is now a part of the City of Boston Art Collection, Public Art Collection. Thank you for all your work. And also, thank you for seeing this one through. Okay, our last order of business is our adjournment. It's nice to have, I will just say before we start, that having 5 presentations and 5 really wonderful collections of artwork has been a real pleasure tonight, even on a hot August day. So thank you for all joining us. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move
I'll
that
make
we
a motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay, Camilo did that. Michael, would you like to second that? Michael? Would anyone else like to second? Okay, great. Thank you, Michael, for seconding. I'll read off the list. You're in agreement with adjournment, please say yes. Camilo?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
And Brian?
Yes.
And I will be a yes as well. So motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for some wonderful work tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a great
See
night.
you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.